Hi there. I'm Jeff Teper from Microsoft, and I lead the teams focused on collaboration in Microsoft 365. And I'm so thrilled to be here with you at this virtual event, sharing our latest roadmap for the hybrid workplace with Microsoft 365. We are incredibly grateful to get to work with all of you. This is the best community in technology where people not only get together and share best practices and network, but in many cases become lifelong friends. And this is a time where we need that community more than ever, where you're hosting these events for customers and partners. And so please, everybody, thank the organizers of this event, the sponsors, the speakers. They all work very hard. And I encourage you to engage in the Microsoft 365 community in your area. So moving on, I like to start these talks with our mission. We build on Microsoft's mission of empowering every person and organization on the planet to achieve more. And where we come in is helping you do that together with great collaboration tools that come together in an integrated experience in Microsoft 365 with Teams as the hub for teamwork. And that experience transcends work and school and people's personal lives. And so that's what we're trying to do in the Microsoft 365 space. Things have clearly changed in the last couple of years. A lot of the things we've been talking about in these kinds of forums about working with any place, anyone, anytime, empowering and engaging employees, they've always been important. But in the last couple of years with COVID and the pandemic, they've become essential. That for organizations to continue, for people to continue to thrive and pursue their careers, it's really important that we build a hybrid workplace together where people can do their best work as individuals and teams from any place, anytime, and with anyone. And we're very grateful that you all have selected our tools as the basis of your hybrid workplace strategy. And in fact, in the last couple of years, Teams has grown tenfold to over 250 million monthly active users using Teams as their hub for teamwork. And Teams is backed up with a lot of the content management capabilities of SharePoint. More and more capabilities, lists, files, pages, sites, etc., are powered by SharePoint. And each month, you all are adding over 100 petabytes of new content to SharePoint through the various experiences of SharePoint sites and OneDrive and Teams. So thank you. We don't take that for granted. And one thing that I always try to emphasize is we built this together. I think about the journey we've been on since the launch of our online services. Bill Gates announced these in 2008, the SharePoint conference. And today, where we're adding new value every month, we built it together. Your support, your feedback, your ideas, your solutions in our partner ecosystem helped us invest and grow and learn together. So thank you very much. And we don't take it for granted. And we couldn't be more excited about what's coming next. We're investing in both fundamentals and experiences. And I'm excited to share the work there. On fundamentals, we're in over 200 data centers around the world and invested in the infrastructure for real-time communications and file I/O. We've got 5 to 10 times faster performance in our document collaboration experiences in SharePoint. We've invested in new AV algorithms with machine learning and AI for Teams, all sorts of expanded certification standards. And of course, we take our responsibility to our planet very seriously, and we've committed by 2030 to have net zero carbon consumption from the company. So couldn't be more excited about the billions of dollars we're able to invest in the infrastructure of SharePoint and Teams and the rest of Microsoft 365, given all your support and feedback. We are also, and this is what really matters to end users, building more and more innovative experiences, of course in Windows, but also on the Mac and the browser, iOS and Android, and virtual reality headsets and much more. And so you see some of these, what we've been doing with Teams, with SharePoint, with OneDrive, with Lists, with Viva, with Stream. All of these capabilities work great standalone, come together inside Teams, and increasingly are backed by the rich content collaboration and compliance capabilities of SharePoint. Well, so that's the overview. And now we'd love to dive into the details. There's so much we're bringing to Microsoft 365 each month. We announced the biggest news day we've had yet at our Ignites conference. And so I'd love to share with you just a small set of the things we recently announced or are coming. And we're going to break that into 5 categories: communications, content, people, governance, and platform. So let's get started with the work we're doing on communications. That, of course, the central focus for that is Microsoft Teams. And Teams is really a product that's designed just for the hybrid workplace, that we bring together all the modalities of synchronous communication in meetings with real-time audio video, asynchronous communications, working together with document collaboration and chats and channels, and letting you work in the same place together. You could be in a meeting room, but also you could work in a very distributed way from anywhere. And you see, this isn't just about software with Teams. We're also working very hard on the hardware experience, both for the in-room participants and the remote experiences. So this is a great experience. And again, this is not a new framework. This has been around for a while. But I think we're advancing the state of the art in a really unique way at Microsoft with the work we're doing in Teams. And Teams, as you've seen us over the last 4 or 5 years, has really expanded to be the strategic platform for productivity in Microsoft 365. It is that digital fabric that connects all the people and projects and conversations and employees and topics and so forth inside and outside their organization. And it's not just for information workers. In fact, you probably saw recently, we announced the next round of investments to empower frontline workers with Microsoft Teams, all connected to this common digital fabric. And what makes it unique is that we bring all the core communications tools in one place. I think there's no other product in the industry that brings meetings and chats and calls and document collaboration and automation workflow in a single, simple framework, and as well lets you integrate your own applications and applications from third parties. So pretty clear, stable strategy for Teams. And I think a big reason why it's been adopted is that simplicity. So let's talk about some of the specifics. We want to make sure that you can stay in the flow of the work before, during, and after meeting to make meetings more productive, but also make sure that you don't have to attend every meeting, that you can catch up with what's going on afterwards. So we showcased a number of new things recently, like collaborating on an agenda. Best meetings have a clear agenda. Collaborating on notes. People keep track of notes. These are powered by our new fluid or loop-based technologies. Our new really rich interactive whiteboard, which you can use both inside and outside the meeting. And what's coming is more and more capabilities to recap or summarize the slides, the content, the notes in the meetings. Again, so you can go back a few weeks later and see what happened. But also so you don't have to attend every meeting that you've been invited to. You can manage your time a lot better. So that's just some of the focus we've got around the workflow around meetings. Once you're in the meeting, we want to give you a much more engaging experience. And so you've seen the work we've done with Together Mode, where you can break down the silos from people and have a more fun, engaging experience. We've introduced and invested in PowerPoint Live, and we've got more coming there to help both the presenter with their notes, but also participants browse around the deck, add annotations to the slides, and so forth. We've got presenter views, so you can look more polished and control the balance between the content and your own video feed, and then all sorts of different screen layouts and ability to customize that. Because you could be on a wide range of devices, small screens, widescreen, multi-monitors, and so forth. So a lot of capabilities to make meetings more inclusive and also reduce fatigue in meetings. More work we're doing in Teams, of course, in the asynchronous space where people are having conversations via chats and channels. And so we've really streamlined the UI so that you can have more fun reactions. It's more clear what you're replying to versus creating a new post. You can pin conversations, search for all things inside Teams, and especially chats and channels, has gotten a lot better lately, and we're doing more and more with machine learning. So we're really excited about the experiences coming for asynchronous communication. But one of the biggest things we announced at Ignite was the ability to streamline communications outside your company with Teams Connect. This is this idea that's built into SharePoint, built into Teams, so that two organizations can share a common channel and see it within their native Teams experience. So I can see all my internal channels as well as one shared outside, and that same thing on the other connecting side. So this is just a simple video showing some of the things that are going on with people from two different companies communicating on a common shared channel. We think it's really on top of all the B2B capabilities in Teams in Microsoft 365, going to be a big breakthrough in how people collaborate across organizations in a secure and controlled way. And that's all backed by this capability called Teams Connect. And we're really excited that in the first quarter of the calendar year, we're going to go to preview with it and hope to see a lot of adoption and broad feedback, and then ship it shortly thereafter. So that's Teams Connect and shared channels. We're, of course, expanding the capabilities of Teams to more seamlessly integrate parts of Microsoft 365. And one of my favorite milestones we reached is integrating templates across Teams and SharePoint and the Power Platform. I'd known this for years working on SharePoint, that people want to build a template. Here's what a sales website looks like, and you stamp out the next 10 sales teams. But with Teams coming together with the rest of SharePoint and Microsoft 365, people want to do that not just for documents and pages, but conversations and scheduled meetings and applications. And so we've now got a common templating model that transcends Teams and other Microsoft 365 resources, so you can build repeatable collaborative processes more easily. And so that slide showed a basic project management. And of course, we want to do more and more to make it easier to work with those artifacts in SharePoint. We've done that for files, we've done that for lists, and now we're doing it with pages. Where of course, you can open the link to the browser and work with SharePoint like you always have, but now you can be able to edit those pages right within the Microsoft Teams experience and stay within the flow. So again, each of those applications in Microsoft 365, we're going to make great standalone and streamlined, but also integrated in the flow hosted in Teams. And that's not just going to be limited to what we do in Microsoft 365. Increasingly, people want the services from Teams in their business applications. So I'm really excited here that we're going to do more and more with capabilities to embed Teams in custom solutions. And of course, we'll start with Dynamics. And you can see a customer service omni-channel solution here from the Dynamics team that is embedded right within that experience, the Teams calling and chat capability. So it's going to go both ways. We're going to integrate applications in Teams, and we're going to integrate Teams in those other applications. And the work we're doing with Dynamics is just a start. But the real breakthrough for us is the work we're doing with Microsoft Mesh. This is where we're taking immersive meeting experiences to the next level. We're using 3D avatars that you can use also within a traditional 2D meeting experience. But really, this becomes incredibly powerful when you can create a 3D scene that's a custom meeting size with tables and artifacts from your company and whiteboards. And so we're going to have, as you see in this video, both those avatar experiences and the immersive experiences, where here we're showing a room with multiple subrooms, and you can see the applications from Microsoft 365 on the walls, PowerPoints, whiteboards. You can see, some artifacts that they put in there, and you can interact with people. It's really going to be a breakthrough, and I'm very excited, to sort of this experience with Mesh is going to work both on a traditional desktop PC, so you can just jump on your existing device, hosted and running inside Teams. But it's going to be unbelievable when you have a headset on, and you'll be able to mix and match that with different participants. So incredibly excited about what's coming this year with Mesh for Teams. All right, so that's just some of the work we're doing on communications. Now let's move to content. These are the experiences with collaboration and compliance powered by SharePoint. And boy, there's a lot of them. Let me start with the simplest foundation, which is OneDrive. Hopefully you've seen us in the last few years really streamline the positioning of these offerings, where SharePoint is the underlying content services platform, and of course the website people go to, but OneDrive is the app that gives you anywhere access to all your files, your personal files that are in your OneDrive, but also the files that could be on team sites and Microsoft Teams, all backed under the covers by SharePoint. And that's not something users need to really know and understand. But OneDrive gives you this consistent files experience for all your files across all your devices with rich collaboration and compliance. And we could have a whole session just on the incredible innovation we've done for access and capture and backup and collaboration and compliance in OneDrive. I'll just highlight just a few of my favorite things. One is we've brought this concept of known folders that we did first on Windows to the Mac. So the photos and documents folders that you naturally work with on a Mac, you can just work with them backed by the cloud with OneDrive. And we're really excited about the work we did with Apple to make that experience incredibly seamless. We are also improving the browser experience with quick access to, again, all those shared destinations that we have with OneDrive connected to Teams and SharePoint. You don't have to know the names or URLs to those. The experience in OneDrive just remembers those across your devices, making things really simple. Again, you don't have to remember all those URLs. Next, we did a lot of work to improve sharing in the system. There's a lot of things people want to be able to control, whether you're sharing for collaboration or just for read-only inside and outside their organization. So we've built a common sharing dialog that works across all our applications in Microsoft 365. Again, Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, the browser, really streamlined sharing experience that we took a next step with in the last month or two. Then we'll move on to video and meeting recordings. We've added rich video capabilities to SharePoint, so you get the best of video with SharePoint's collaboration and compliance capabilities. And then we expose that through OneDrive. So now all Teams meeting recordings are stored in OneDrive, so you can get access to them like any other file. You can look at them, you can share them, etc. And the new Stream product will be built on top of that same underlying video support in SharePoint with all the internal and external collaboration compliance that you'd expect. But next, I am incredibly excited to show you the newest innovation in content collaboration, which is Microsoft Loop. This is collaborating on components in pages contained in workspaces with components in chats and in emails. Really exciting vision we've got for breaking through in more seamless and fun collaboration. And we created this video to give you a sense of what the Loop experience will look like. So let's take a look. So that's Microsoft Loop. We're really excited to bring that to market in the coming months. Next up is SharePoint Syntax. This is our higher-end add-on to SharePoint for image processing, content workflows, and much more. And I'm really excited, on top of that base capability, at Ignite we announced something really exciting that we wanted to do in Word and SharePoint for a long time, which is content assembly, where you take pieces of content and reassemble them together for reusable processes, things like contracts and RFPs. really will address a big spectrum of scenarios with a lot of automation. So very excited about you checking out the new syntax capabilities with content assembly and image processing and much more. Let's move from documents to lists is our next data type in content. And we're really very excited about the work we've done in Microsoft Lists. Brand new interface, continues to exist in SharePoint, of course, hosted in Teams. But what's really amazing about it is this new super streamlined experience that we've broken out that you can get right to your list in your browser or your mobile app. It's really some of our best UI work of all in the last year or so. And one of the key milestones is something you heard me last year refer to as Project Nucleus, which is we leverage some database technology and sync technology from OneDrive to let you run these lists at large scale offline with incredible performance. So whether you're online or offline, the speed of the new list experience and the scalability of the number of items in a list is amazing. So again, standalone in the browser, in Teams, in SharePoint, and much more. And another big announcement we made is that Lists support for Android is coming. In V1, we got out the iOS app first. Now we've done Android. And so again, like you'd expect from us, Lists will be available with great apps on all platforms. So excited to see you check out Lists for Android. And then lastly, in this space of content is we're continuing to expand on Microsoft Search. The ability to connect to different applications, line of business apps, custom processes. Of course, we are doing work with lots and lots of partners. One of the things you see highlighted here is ServiceNow, where you see connected with a tailored view for search results right inside the Microsoft Search experience, which you see in Bing and SharePoint, across the ecosystem with this common search fabric. So it's a place we're continuing to innovate in not just the AI and the user experience, but the connectivity to additional data sources. All right, next of our people area in Microsoft 365, we've built a new capability, hopefully you've all heard about, called Microsoft Viva, which is our employee experience platform. And we're really excited that we introduced 4 modules that are now generally available with Viva Connections, Viva Insights, Learnings, and Topics. And we gave our roadmap update of an acquisition we did for Objectives and Key Results, OKRs. It's going to be available as part of this family as a Viva module. Again, continuing on this theme of employee growth and development and focus, all building on the foundation of the rest of Microsoft 365. So really excited about Viva and that work that we've got across the ecosystem and integrating with lots and lots of third-party applications, line of business systems, learning systems, wellness systems, and much more. And just a couple of highlights. As part of that announcement, we did the general availability of Viva Connections, not just in the desktop hosted in Teams, but the mobile app, which is super streamlined in Teams, very fast. So in one place, you get access to your applications, your news, your Yammer conversations, et cetera. And so it's one of the best time to value solutions we've done, deriving from the SharePoint technology in this new Viva Connections release. Next up is Viva Topics. This was introduced earlier in the year, but we wanted to talk about the roadmap that we've got for topics because we really want to make this organizing concept mainstream. So you'll see in Outlook, in Yammer, in Teams, and Conversations, this notion of a topic to be tagged that is then linked to the topic cards and topic pages, all contained in Viva Topics. And so as users get more and more familiar with this, they'll be more incented to enhance those topics so the knowledge of your organization is shared more broadly. And so a big part of our focus with Viva Topics is, of course, to get these topics in the natural flow of people's work. And of course, one of the big things that's related to Viva is the work around Yammer. Yammer provides the community's framework for all sorts of experiences, not only in Yammer, but we've integrated it into SharePoint, into Outlook, and Teams. Hopefully you've seen the community's experiences in Teams. And Yammer is a bigger and bigger part of our vision for Viva in how we connect people across the organizations and facilitate communities. And so I love the new Yammer interface and the integration across the applications, including Viva connections and Viva topics. And we'll be doing a lot more here. Next area is governance, security and compliance, and so forth. First, we always start that Microsoft 365 runs on trust. We've got the most secure cloud foundation in the world with great focus on reliability and performance and scalability and certifications. And we know we need to do more and more here. And it's a huge focus for us. And so we're invested in that base capabilities for security, but also giving you more controls to manage and govern the information in your organization the way you need. So it's not one size fits all. We're going to give you lots and lots more insights and tools for managing your environment. And so one of the big things we introduced at Ignite is data access governance. There's a lot going on, and there should be going on. You should be empowering your employees to collaborate with each other, but you want to govern that. So if you've got an issue about some information, you want to be able to see who's got access to it, who it's shared with, and if it's confidential information or sites, set policies and labels to lock that down. And we've got all those tools, but perhaps we've not given you as many insights as you could about querying what's going on there. So you can see the collaborative activity and respond to questions about information and so forth. And so I'm really excited about this new data access governance capability we're introducing, and we're going to be adding a lot more there. And so that went to public preview, and we're looking forward to your feedback. Next, we've done more and more work on information protection and labeling in the system, including the ability to automatically classify content with labels and set policies around that, regardless of the information, where the information lives. So maybe your most sensitive information requires multi-factor authentication, or maybe you wouldn't want somebody to share that content on SharePoint sites inside your organization. So you can set these policies and associated with labels and then apply them to sites in your organization so that people, as they want to, follow the guidelines for protecting your company's sensitive information. So it's really exciting to see that, and we're showing in this video some of the user experience behind that. So that granular conditional access policy, multi-factor authentication connected to labels in SharePoint sites is one of the things we announced at public preview at Ignite. Next up, we are continuing to improve the admin experience. We've heard that you'd love to have one-stop shopping for the SharePoint sites that are traditional SharePoint sites that are standalone, but also those power teams, and be able to go see what's going on in those and set policies across those. So we're really excited to improve the SharePoint admin experience to support that. And so we're very excited that we announced the general availability of channel site management in the SharePoint Admin Center. But perhaps the thing that would have gotten the biggest applause if I were there with you in person is the ability to rename your tenant in SharePoint and Microsoft 365. This was a complicated set of investments because it has tentacles throughout lots of the code, but we worked on it for the last couple of years, and we really are eager to get that out to you. And so go ahead and take a look at that in the public preview. A lot more in this space that I could share, but we'd go on and on. Let me move to the platform, the ability to customize Microsoft 365, integrate it with other applications. And of course, the foundation for that is the Microsoft Graph. It's the graph of how people and files and teams and sites and calendar items and so forth relate to each other with security and compliance enforced, that you can read and write access to information in the graph for your own applications. It could be HR workflows, it could be sales enablement, et cetera. Tons of applications powered by a simple namespace in the Microsoft Graph. On the UI side, we've got the SharePoint Framework, where you can build these extensions and parts, but it's not just about SharePoint anymore. We want you to use SharePoint Framework to build great websites to integrate your own apps. We love that, and that's going to continue. But we're also using the SharePoint Framework where you build pages and teams and enhance them, meetings, apps, teams, tabs. And we've embraced adaptive cards in the SharePoint Framework, so you can enhance the dashboard capability for Viva connections, both on the desktop and mobile. So hopefully you see that we've got this really great flexible development environment, all based on JavaScript that you can use across Teams and Viva, as well as, of course, SharePoint. It is the SharePoint framework after all. And then moving up the stack from Graph for low-level data access, SharePoint Framework for JavaScript user experiences, to the no-code, low-code space, we've got Power Apps. And Power Apps is connected in a whole bunch of ways to Microsoft 365. You can build Power Apps in Teams. Dataverse is built into Teams. You can get access to files and lists and integrate with the people card and so forth. All sorts of great ways with Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Apps virtual agents to build very simply with little or even no code, these great solutions that are either standalone. You could build a dedicated Power App, or you could customize or extend our experience. You could build a form for a SharePoint list. You can build an app that sits in Teams. So we're really excited to see the work that we're doing with Power Apps help you transform processes with a lot less effort. And this all comes under the umbrella of collaborative applications. And I thought I'd show one of the ways where we're taking this and making this even more seamless. You can see in this UI a chat where we've got one of these loop components. In this case, it's based on Dynamics 365. And you see a sales opportunity that's live and interactive through the power of loop inside Microsoft Teams. And so we're going to do more and more of this across the Microsoft stack, and then ultimately expose this to others with Loop as a platform that integrates with Teams and Outlook and the rest of our tools. So continuing to work to innovate on the richness and flexibility of collaboration. So with that, thank you so much. We really appreciate the bet you've made on Microsoft to help you transform for the hybrid workplace. I hope you see that we're innovating faster than ever. We are very grateful to be part of the best community in technology and very much look forward to seeing you in person in the not too distant future. Thank you.